Hello guys, today we're going to have a little pitch crash course. So in this course we covered only rhythms. I just feel that if a musician is wanting to understand how to write and read music, it's better to focus on the rhythms first and then focus on the pitch. But for some of you, maybe you kind of understand pitch a little bit, and possibly this could just be the one little bit of information that you need to link the two together. So we're just going to do this quick thing for you guys. I hope you get something out of it. So first of all, we have our staff here. In all of our exercises, we just used boxes because we didn't need to draw lines, because lines, that's going to help you indicate what the pitch is or the frequency. So first of all, we can see that we have 5 lines here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we have also 5 lines here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You probably recognize this guy here. That would be the treble clef. And then here, this one, we have the bass clef. Certain instruments are going to only read treble, and certain instruments will only read the bass clef. And like for piano, they have to read both at the same time. Okay, so first thing to look at, let's look at the treble clef. So we've got our treble clef sign here. And one thing that it is indicating for us is, look right here how there's almost like some cross hairs here. It's like a little, like one of these guys. It's going to be indicating that this line, the second line, is going to be G. It's going to be G. Okay, and that's going to be G above middle C, which we're about to talk about in a bit. If you notice that the bass clef here, we've got these 2 dots, and that line right in between those 2 dots, that's indicating F below middle C. Okay, so first let's take a look at middle C. Middle C is going to be exactly in between these 2 staffs. Middle C is almost like the barrier or the frontier in between these guys. Alright, so if we were to draw a line here, now basically we have linked these 2 together. So if this would be C, so that's C, and I don't know if you know piano or not, but I think it's good to always be able to draw the comparison between piano and whatever instrument that you're playing, whether even if it's trumpet or flute or something. You should know how to find the notes that you are playing on your instrument on a piano. So let's just say that we made this one middle C. So this is C, and on a piano, you have more than one C, so you have different octaves of C. So this would be a C, this would be a C, this would be a C, this would be a C. And on a piano, normally you have like 8 octaves of C. You can't really, you can hear a lower octave than the lowest one that is on a piano, but the sound quality is not so nice, so that's why they don't even put it. And when you get to this spectrum of C, after that really high, you almost can't even hear it because we have limited hearing as humans, right? So normally you'll have maybe like 7 or 8 C's in this little keyboard that I drew. We only have 4 C's. I'm going to indicate this C here to be middle C here, so we'll put middle C. Middle C, this guy, and you can also call it like C4. Because on a piano, it's going to be like the 4th C, and it's usually like right in the middle of the piano. So this C here is going to be C4. C4. All right. So not only can we use the lines, but we can also use the spaces. So we've got 5 lines, and we've got 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see what that would sound like on guitar. So your C4 would be first fret on your B string. So right here. So this note here is this note right there, C4, right in between the two staffs where treble clef and bass clef lie. Alright, so if we wanted to go up to the next note in pitch, so that would be C, so D, and that would be D above middle C. So the first D above middle C, and to represent that on the staff, we would put it in this little space, and we wouldn't draw this line. So if you see a note right underneath this line here, the lowest line, and you don't see a ledger line is what we call this when we go above the staff or below the staff, you would know that that would just be a D, and that would be this D right here above middle C, which would sound like this. So here's your C, your D would be here. Okay. This bottom line here, that would be your E. So if we wanted to represent E, we would just draw the note on the line there. And basically, all of these spaces and lines are going to be all of the white keys on the keyboard. The piano is a really good way to visualize this thing, because obviously we've got these black keys here, and we're going to cover that in a second. But right now I just want you to focus on all the notes that aren't sharp. So we have sharp and flat. This is how we can have access to these black keys. But for right now, we're just going to worry about the white keys. Okay? So the next space, right here, that would be your F. Okay, so F above middle C. If we wanted to go to the next one, and remember I said this treble clef is going to be indicating that this line is a G, so that would be your G here. If we wanted to go to A, that would be our next space. If we wanted to go to B, we would use this next line. And now we have reached the next C. So this space right here is a C, and it is going to be C5. So we have two C's. These are octaves. So we've got a C, C4. We've got a C here, C5. For me, I treat them exactly the same. If I'm going to play C, D, E, and I go to the next octave, mathematically it's the same. It's just going to stimulate some different things in the brain, but technically it's the same thing. So once you've kind of mastered C to B, you can kind of treat this C to this B almost exactly the same. It's just going to assist in building larger chords. So we've got C, you've got your D, E, F, G, A, B, and C. Okay, so if we were to go down to this C, let's try and bring this down this way so that you can see what it looks like when it goes into the bass clef. Alright, so if we went to the next note below C4, that would be one space above this top line. So if I were to draw a note like here, so we've got C4. If we went one note below, one space below, we know this is going to be a B. So this would be the B below middle C. So that would be here. So one way to look at it, the way I do it, is all of these guys here. So this is C4. So this would be D4 and E4 and F4, G4, A4, B4. But then this C right here we know is going to be 5. So everything before this C here, it's all going to be part of the 3 series. So I can go ahead and just put 3s here. Let's see. So if I were to have the B key here, this would be the 2nd series, or the 2nd octave, right? So we've got a B3 here. So if we were to go to this line, that's going to be an A, and that would be this one here. If we would go before that, we would have a G. So this is G3, and if we go to this G here, it's going to be a G4. So from this one on the bass clef to this guy here, that's going to be an octave. So you can see how they're starting to interact with each other. Remember that this bass clef here is indicating that this line is an F, so we already know that that's an F. Okay, before this F, we would have our E. So this E here and this E here on the treble clef line, that would be 1 octave apart, right? Then you've got your D, you've got your C. So this would be C3. C3. If you went right in between them, like here, that would be your C4. Okay, so these staffs operate in the same way. It's just because they are separated by 3 degrees, so like a space, a line, and a space. It's 3 notes. It's not going to be an even number, and it's not going to be 12 spaces. So that's why the lines are not the same names as the lines up here. So it's you'll hear the acronym Every Good Boy Does Fine. That's the name of the lines. And then the spaces would be F-A-C-E, face. Okay. But then when you have the lines here, it would be, this lower line would be your G. So the acronym you can hear is Good Boys Do Fine Always. And the spaces would be ACE, G. So A, C, E, and G. Alright? So I definitely recommend familiarizing yourself with treble clef and bass clef. Just draw yourself 5 lines and just point to a line and see how fast you can figure out what the name of it is, the letter of it, and the spaces as well. Once you can do that very quickly, then you'll start to find that it's not so hard to start discovering the melody, especially when you have become fluent with your rhythmic cliches, right? Okay, let's go ahead, now that we've kind of identified how the lines and the spaces work and how the octaves are set up, let's go ahead and just focus maybe on treble clef right now, and I'll start showing you how some of the rhythmic cliches can combine with the pitch theory to start creating melodies.